We're back at Deer Creek Lodge in Western Kentucky. Very excited. This is what a deer hunter lives for. You got lots of chasing going on. If you don't want to be at work this week, you want to be in the woods.
It's a buck.
You especially don't want to be at work when there's a real chance of finding a record book buck here on Winchester's Whitetail Revolution.
There he is right there. Hey, just push around. I would take it.
Winchester's Whitetail Revolution is brought to you by Winchester Ammunition, the American Legend, Code Blue, perfecting the science of hunting, Winchester Repeating Arms, the guns that work, Redfield, the soul of the American hunter, and by Browning, the best there is.
And one of the great things about working for Frontiers is that I get to visit some top-notch lodges. Deer Creek Lodge is one of those that's very special.
It's a buck. It's a small buck.
Absolutely top tier, great bird shooting, and excellent whitetail.
Never seen so many deer beds in one place. They're everywhere. I'm not sure where these deer are right now, but I know where they've been. That's half the battle. We're in a good spot. It's a great spot.
Hunter Joe Cott is in a whitetail paradise here at Western Kentucky's Deer Creek Lodge. Deer Creek has 3 square miles of hardwoods, slows, grain fields, and river bottoms. Ideal habitat for bucks that might break the magic 170 mark.
We're hunting over in Henderson, Kentucky, which is the western part of the state. Very agricultural, gently rolling terrain. You know, for Whitetail Revolution, this show is set up geared towards the old-fashioned way of hunting. You know, it's spot and stalk, it's still hunting. They gear a lot of their hunting in this region towards hunting from a stand. It's going to be a little different. For the most part, what we're going to be doing is just slipping along, finding suitable spots, funnels, pinch points.
We've been around since 1978. We were primarily a whitetail operation to begin with, and we've expanded to not only do that, we do upland, we do turkeys, and we have some waterfowl as well.
Deer Creek is a fantastic facility. It's got a couple of different personalities. It has great deer hunting. It has phenomenal upland bird hunting. I'd say the vast majority of the people that come to visit Deer Creek Lodge are here for the bird shooting, but we're hunting in the bottoms region, which is a very different landscape. You can come to Deer Creek if you get lucky and you tag out early on your deer. You can spend the next 2 or 3 days on a quail shoot, or you can shoot mallards. There's plenty to do.
Welcome to Deer Creek. Welcome back, man.
Thank you, man. It's good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
It's good to be back in the fall.
It's going to be a perfect time for you, man.
Is it? Well, when you get to a new place, and mind you, this is a semi-guided hunt here at Deer Creek, so you look for the breaks in topography that you can find that may funnel some deer, and at this time, you want to find the doe.
Joe Cott grew up in Maine, where his first love was saltwater fishing, but he soon found a place in his heart for big game hunting. For a quarter century, he's been able to indulge his passion in his jobs with outdoor adventure companies. For the last 10 years, he's been with Frontiers International Travel, where he heads the big game department when he isn't out hunting himself.
There's a doe right there. There you go. That's a good start. Oh, there's a buck right behind it. Oh, it's chasing. All right. So I gotta watch this. There's a second buck, and he's running. He's got something back in his corn. And he's slipping off through the CRP. Boy, don't they disappear. Don't they disappear in the CRP? That's a good sign. That buck chased something back to the left. The buck in the field chased something back to the right. He's in a cut bean field. They just cut this field 2 days ago. We're just gonna have to keep slipping along. They're popping out of everywhere. The rut's on, these deer are chasing. Hopefully we're hitting this at just the right time. I want to sneak up just to the edge of this field a little bit better. Vantage points from the corner. Just came down to this bottom of this little swale. The Slough Creek over here. Good travel route between a cut cornfield, CRP, and then a cut bean field beyond. Just trying to get the wind right to decide which side we're going to set up on here. Nobody's hunted in here all year, so I think the deer are pretty relaxed. We just need to come in here and get a good setup and sit for a little bit and see if we hear any deer coming through.
I think when people come to Kentucky, what they can expect is gently rolling terrain, lots of very subtle landscape changes that are exactly what these deer key in on. Gullies, funnels, sloughs. You have to pick apart the landscape and you have to take a good hard look at it. Everything here is subtle.
Slip on through. It's kind of lots of little hummocks and there's beds everywhere. Every little high spot where there's no water seems to be 1 or 2 beds. It's real noisy walking through here, so we just have to pussyfoot it along and hope we get a shot.
You're looking for the obvious in a lot of ways. I say you have to look for subtle things, but there's also the very obvious, the signposts, those big rubs. You look for a scrape, so you know that bucks are working the area.
Get ready to head out to lunch. We wanted to do a little scouting along the edge of this field and down into the slough. See, there's a heck of a nice rub right down in the bottom, just the damp spot down there. That's a good buck. I could just about guarantee on a 5-inch tree like that, it's a good deer. We're just going to keep poking along the edge of this field, looking down in here and see if we can find these pinch points where we have a good shot at catching a deer coming into these bean fields later on this afternoon. That's a good deer. That's a shooter.
Joe Cott has traveled to western Kentucky for a big buck, but Mike Hanbeck knows of one hunter who had to look no farther than his own backyard for a buck of a lifetime.
Jimmy Taylor works at a farmer's co-op in Virginia, only about 30 miles from my house. While I was off hunting in some faraway land one time, he was fixing to shoot his dream buck right down the road. He got into his stand one day about 4 o'clock. Leaves crunched and he saw a little doe. More hooves. A buck was behind her. With more than 40 years of hunting under his belt, Jimmy knew this buck was big. He raised his .270 and fired. Jimmy walked up to the giant and about fell over. The 20-pointer had 27-inch main beams and more than 44 inches of mass. Net score an amazing 201 7/8. He carried the head to a big-time Virginia taxidermist who said, "Jimmy, that's the biggest darn buck anybody's carried in here in 50 years. Isn't it fascinating how some world-class bucks just show up in the rut like that?" Congrats, Jimmy, on the buck of many lifetimes, and you know what? You taught me something, man. I'm gonna start hunting a lot closer to home for my buck of a lifetime.
Learn more about Mike Hanbeck's Bucks of a Lifetime at versus.com.
We're back at Deer Creek Lodge in western Kentucky. It's been 3 years since I've been here. Very excited. Agriculturally rich region, great deer habitat, sort of the sleeper state, if you will. The hunter density is relatively low and the deer population is very high. A The buck to doe ratio here at Deer Creek, they're looking at this year and last year, somewhere close to 1-to-1. So it's really increased the rut activity.
We've got great whitetail in Kentucky. You can expect to see lots of deer, big mature deer.
Like other parts of the southern Midwest, Kentucky has all the requirements of genetics, nutrition, habitat, and age structure to produce more than its fair share of all-time record book deer.
You know, we've chosen to come in and sit on this spot today early in the morning because it's been so warm. And later in the day and in the early evening, the deer aren't moving much. And it's very difficult to be quiet moving through these woods, so we sit and let the deer do the moving this morning. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of time in here. We can hear very well, which means the deer can hear very well. So I think sitting's the best choice right now. Can't see him. Man, that was a big deer. He's still down there. But he's right on the edge of that bluegrass. I can't see him. Right, that's a big deer. That may be one of the biggest deer I've seen. High white rack. There's another deer in here. Oh, he's not a shooter. Pretty. That deer's still down the bottom there. Staring right at me. Little head bob move. Temptation is to call this deer and play with him and see if you can get him to come closer, but I don't want to risk having him bust us and blow and keeping that doe from coming back with that buck. So watch him. He's just watching us. I'm surprised he didn't get wind of us back here. We must have crossed the same way those deer came in.
We decided to pick up, take a little walk down, stroll down, still hunt our way along that wood row, keeping our eye across at the fragmite. One of the things you want to make sure you have on a trip like this, you need a good quality pair of binoculars. You need to pick apart the tight cover and look and see, is that an ear I'm seeing? Is that an antler? But you also need a binocular that can reach out and look across some of these fields, and you can make some decisions on whether or not you want to take a certain buck. You need to be able to distinguish some differences and pick out frame size on the rack. So a good quality pair of optics is imperative to have.
There's a lot of trails through here. This is like a little sanctuary. It's bean fields as far as the eye can see. We'll just see what the does are doing, you know. Does will keep the bucks around this time. There he is right there. He just pushed around. I'm gonna take him.
Winchester's Whitetail Revolution is brought to you by Winchester Ammunition, the American legend, Code Blue, perfecting the science of hunting, Winchester Repeating Arms, the guns that work, Redfield, the soul of the American hunter, and by Browning, the best there is.
You know, the rut hasn't quite peaked yet. It's getting to that stage, so we've got lots of chasing going on. I'm really excited. This is what a deer hunter lives for. This is the part of deer hunting in the fall that everybody wants to be a part of. You don't want to be at work this week. You know, you want to be in the woods.
We're agriculturally rich region. We've got soybeans and corn. You know, our growing season's long. That's what I think makes a big difference. And then not only that, but our cover. Our cover is Phragmites, which is a tall grass species that gives these deer cover throughout the year.
This looks pretty good right here. Got a good view into the swamp where that buck came in about 9 o'clock this morning. I think our best bet is to just kind of sit in here for a little bit and see if he doesn't show himself. So we're just gonna give it a chance to sort of play itself out. Then go back and take a break, grab a bite to eat. There's a spoke right here. It's about 75 yards from the other one. Good sign. This buck's working through here. Stop. Wait. They're running. That's a good hit. Oh, isn't it friendly, man?
You know, as soon as that buck turned, I knew I had a good hit on him. He buckled up, spun around and ran back into that fragment. I thought, oh, that can't be good. I walked in about 10 yards and said, I don't know if I can do this myself. I've never been in this kind of cover looking for a wounded deer before. Called up Jay Spraggs, who's our guy down here at Deer Creek. We waited about an hour and a half and we started poking through. We looked and we found some blood sign and we started to get on a regular path, and Jay's had his nose to the ground. He was looking for blood, and I just happened to look up, and behind this deadfall I saw the antler sticking up behind this tree, and he was every bit what I expected.
Oh, man, that is one beautiful deer. Isn't that nice? Congratulations.
Thank
sir.
you.
Wonderful deer.
Deer Creek Lodge grows some nice deer.
Oh,
We've seen some good bucks. There's a great view from behind. He's almost perfectly symmetrical. This beam's a little shy coming in, but I mean, I could care less about that stuff.
Yeah,
He's just a beautiful big buck and gave us a great hunt. I'll tell you, what a morning.
Oh, yeah.
What a morning. It was exciting as could be. Well, thanks to you and thanks to Deer Creek Lodge.
sir.
Thanks to Frontiers for getting me down here.
Yes, sir.
It's a great place. This is my second visit and I've seen some absolutely magnificent deer.
Right.
Got me a nice one to take home. One of the great things about Deer Creek Lodge is its location. It's centrally located, if you will. It's easy to get to from St. Louis or Chicago or Indianapolis. You can be here in a few hours and have world-class bird shooting and I think world-class whitetail hunting. I think we've shown that this place is a standout and the people here are just as hospitable as can be. You get true southern charm and hospitality at Deer Creek. It's just a wonderful place to spend the week.
All whitetail, all the time.
Take him out. Take him.
On Versus.com and Versus On Demand.